Barbados, get up.
Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Morning Barbados, it's the 20th day of November and we are in the midst of our independence celebrations. Right here on Morning Barbados, we're all about keeping that spirit alive. So remember to come out today and every day representing for your national colors. I'm Tisha Hines. I'll be here with you until just around 8 o'clock this morning, unless they allow us to stay a little later. I think not, but a girl can hope. And I'll be here along with the crew making this all possible, and a few wonderful people to tell you all about what's happening all across the island. So I'm hoping that you stay tuned. Today we're going to take a deep dive into some very interesting and important topics. The very brilliant attorney at law, Michelle Russell, is going to be in as we take a look at workplace burnout. What does it look like and how can we tackle it? She has all the ideas to share with you about how we can make it possible both for the employer and the employee to get that recharge that we might need, particularly as we near the end of the year. There's still many of us who've not taken holiday, you've not had a break as yet, or even if you had, sometimes with so much going on, it really can be difficult to feel like you recharge. Then we'll join Sean Clark and Fabian Sargent, who are going to take us back to yesterday. We had an International Men's Day, and all day yesterday I met men who were saying, if it was Women's Day, you would have heard about it all day. As a matter of fact, in a chat from my daughter's school, one man said when somebody posted a Happy Men's Day meme, he said, I wish I knew since this morning, my day would have been so different. I couldn't tell if he was being sarcastic or not, but we're going to look back at the activities yesterday. And of course, there was a big focus on men's mental health. These men are both men's mental health advocates, so it will be interesting to share what happened, what we can do differently, and talk all about all of the ways that we can strengthen our men. You know what they say, strong men, strong minds, strong communities. We definitely will be working on that. Plus, speaking of strength, we'll be hearing from the Barbados Defence Force as they tell us more about the upcoming Armory Tour. That's definitely coming up. So Captain Shane Drakes and a team from the BDF will be in to share more about that. Plus, we have a fantastic giveaway on Independence Night. There is going to be Soo Goes Gold 6. It's where the Eden Lodge Youth Charitable Trust and the Sandy Lane Trust get together to bring you a big show. Artists from right here in Barbados and indeed across the Caribbean will be sharing, and you won't want to miss it. It's a night of music and giving back as well. You can't ask for anything more. Now, if you're wondering if there's anything else happening, you just have to keep on watching because there's always something exciting here on Morning Barbados. We wanted to get started by updating you on what's happening with the Shirley Chisholm project. So some familiar faces back with us this morning. Stacey Adams is the archivist with the Barbados Archives Department. Good morning, Stacey, and welcome back. And I see you're representing in your colors.
Yes, I am.
As is Erica Hinkson, the project coordinator. You know, keeping the blue and yellow alive.
We tried.
Happy Independence.
Happy Independence to you as well. Happy to be here.
Happy Republican Day. We can't forget that. And of course, happy Shirley Chisholm
Day as well.
Day is approaching as well. So let's
awesome.
start with that, Erica. How have things been going? Last time you were here, you updated us on all the fantastic ways you're involving the younger people in our society in learning more about Auntie Shirley.
Yes, it's been a whirlwind, but a very exciting one. We have been visiting the primary schools, you know, doing the heritage tours, the pop-up visits, presentations, little giveaways here and there to the schools, all about Shirley Chisholm. And we have also launched our primary school arts competition, as you know, as well. And we're looking forward to all of those entries, drawings, paintings, mixed media, and the children really representing Shirley Chisholm in their own fantastic ways.
Ah, that's wonderful stuff. You know, how are the children receiving it? Last time you had only done the Shirley Chisholm school, but now you're fitting in over 20 schools in the coming days.
Yeah, well, around 13 in the visits and tours, but of course the entire school population, primary school population in terms of the competition. But yeah, we've since gone to St. Mary's and St. Stephen's. You have Christchurch Girls coming up this week, and the children have been receiving it well. Claudette Levi Farnham, she's an excellent tour guide, and she's been engaging them, facts that they had no idea about, and they feel very inspired and proud to be Barbadian that a lady from Barbados got as far as running for the president of the United States, that race.
That's beautiful stuff. I know coming up for you, Stacey, you have a lot planned as well with the genealogy marketplace. That really one part of it is dedicated to honoring Shirley Chisholm as well.
Yes, definitely. And a special part of the genealogy marketplace is dedicated to putting Shirley on exhibit, because of course we're going to be having a section dedicated to her. You know, you're going to be seeing things like memory boxes, which are decorative cigar boxes with mementos from her early childhood in Barbados. She was a huge fan of decorating cigar boxes for containing various paraphernalia. There will also be interpretative boards or panels of her timeline dating from her birth and early childhood right up to her political career. Also on exhibit will be a visual presentation with highlights on Pan-Africanism. And Chisholm and her father, Charles Christopher St. Hill, were very passionate and supportive of the Black civil rights activist movement as well as Pan-Africanism. There will be a spoken word piece honoring Chisholm, delivered by a noted poet. Attendees will also be treated to an audiovisual montage of testimonies of women in Barbados who were influenced by Shirley Chisholm. There will be artifacts of her life on exhibit, as well as a screening of the 2024 Netflix biographical film about Shirley Chisholm titled Shirley, starring Regina King. So we really want to push Shirley as a theme, as part of the genealogy marketplace event. And of course, the genealogy marketplace event can best be described as a showcase of education, culture, ancestry, as well as community engagement, because that is where the success factor is, the community in coming out and sharing with us, right? The genealogy marketplace would have been started in 2016 by, of course, the Barbados Archives Department, that is under the Division of Culture within the Prime Minister's office in collaboration with the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. All right? So we also have a range of other activities, right, inclusive of genealogical workshops, which consist of presentations on how to go about getting started on your ancestry research journey. There's another one highlighting the source material at the Department of Archives and how that feeds into and facilitates the genealogical process. We have staff on hand to do ancestry research searches on behalf of the public. Attendees will also get the opportunity to a very iconic records display. There'll be things like the Barbados Slave Code on hand, the Abolition of Slavery Act, and so on. So persons can be well informed and well educated on what is there at the archives. There will also be educational stalls that look at the interconnectivities of Barbados and other territories such as Brazil and Guyana, as well as the East Indian population, and their relationship to Barbados. So we have a full schedule There'll be, of course, not forgetting food, because food, of course, will be on sale. Traditional food stalls. There's going to be a henna artist there to provide some of that intricate artwork that people love.
Last genealogy marketplace, I actually got some henna done, and I really, really love it.
Nice.
Maybe I'll share it before we leave. I think I did a time lapse of it.
Nice.
So I should be able to share that as well. But definitely
Very
so
popular.
much to
Yes.
do for that entire day.
Yes.
So it's going to run from what time?
It's going to be running from 10 in the morning until 5 in the evening.
Yeah, so don't play you're coming out at 3 o'clock.
You're going to miss something.
Yeah, you're going to miss something.
You have a full day of activities.
Exactly.
And the way it's laid out is an opportunity to bring out the entire family and really just hear and share.
I am so excited for sure. Are we bringing the kids?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be traditional Bajan games too. Worry, dominoes, potter,
Yeah.
so that persons can get it's going to be a very immersive event for the entire family.
It's true. I remember last genealogy marketplace, there were like really big posters that had information. It was for Independence last year, I believe. And they're like some, interesting figures through the years. And I just remember thinking, well, I've always heard these names, but to see the faces
Yes.
on these printed boards and stuff like that, it just made so much of a difference. It really was a charged atmosphere. It was beautiful. There were performances as well.
Yes, we're going to be having Dance in Africa.
Yes.
I believe Haynesville and the Foundation School, Steel Orchestra, so there will be entertainment, as well as the film,
Yeah.
so it's a packed event, so something for everyone.
And Erica, you know what's ironic?
What's that?
I first met Stacia Burrows, who's related to
Shirley
Chisholm, at that genealogy marketplace.
Wow.
She was doing spoken word.
Yes.
So that's the first time that I met her. I know her relatives, Shirley's relatives, they're going to be prominently featured as well as they have been with all of the activities happening throughout this month. So let's talk a little bit about some of the other things that will be going on.
Most definitely. So, I also want to mention at the genealogy marketplace, we have invited the family as well. Looking forward to having Stacia Burrows for sure to participate in those ancestry searches, family mapping, and all of those fun activities with other Barbadians who can come out and also find out about your ancestry. And after the marketplace, we're jumping right down to the Independence Parade, because we're continuing that community engagement and having Shirley promptly featured at the parade as well, with some exciting giveaways and some educational information going out on the 30th of November, Shirley's actual birthday. So that's the big one.
Absolutely. And there's so much happening, and the time is going by quickly. So you definitely want to make sure that you get in on some of that action. What are some of the ways that people are kind of finding out more about their families and heritage? Because that will feature heavily, even though there's a section of the presentation dedicated to Shirley Chisholm. We're really encouraging people to come out and research about their families as well.
Yeah, definitely. So within the workshop, they will get a chance to hear how they can go about getting started. So we're going to have a step-by-step process, right, to the presentation. So it's called Introduction to Genealogical Research. And we are going to map out that process step by step. We would also have some, information for them to take away. We are going to also be highlighting some of those records, the baptisms, the marriages, the wills, the deeds, inventories, what have you, that also facilitate and drive genealogical research.
Oh, well, that's wonderful stuff. That's a lot happening.
A lot.
And it's all going to be coming off this Saturday, November 23rd. Sometimes when we call figures, people are thinking, oh, that's far away. No, people, that's this Saturday. From 10 a.m. to 5 o'clock. It's in Black Rock. So, location is just around the corner from everybody. It's centrally located, and it's an entire day for you to be able to research your family, find out a little bit more about our national history, find out about Shirley Chisholm, as we look to celebrate her 100th birthday, the anniversary of her 100th birthday. and so much more. So thank you guys for all the work that you do. I most certainly will be there.
Yes.
And we're looking forward to all Barbadians coming out and being a part of it as well. Thank you for coming in today, E.
Thanks for having
Always good to
me, as
see you.
always. And I want to plug the 2 Instagram pages.
Yeah.
So that persons can get more information. If they forgot any of the information today, they could check out at Celebrating Shirley 100 and at Culture Barbados for more details.
All right, good stuff. Always good catching up with you, Stacia.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
Happy Independence. Hey, it's time for another break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at how we tackle burnout as we approach the end of the year. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, welcome back to Morning Barbados on this Wednesday, 6:17 already. So get moving. Certainly hope you've grabbed your cup of coffee, whatever goodness you like in the morning. Some people prefer tea. I know Bajans like a cup of tea, and tea can be anything from actual tea to cocoa to just low hot water. All is tea. Lyric says all is rum, but for us, all is tea. All right. So speaking of tea, we're going to be spilling a little tea this morning on how you can recognize signs of burnout with your employees and what you need to do about it. So as I mentioned, brilliant attorney at law, Michelle Russell is joining us. She's all over social media. You must know her. She writes an article in the newspaper. She's on LinkedIn. She's everywhere. And now she's here on Morning Barbados. Hey, Michelle, good to have you with us.
Hi, good morning. Always good to be here.
And of course, you might be a little new to Morning Barbados, but not new to me.
Not at all.
From in the days of the mix.
Yes.
Yes, you used to contribute a lot with us. So very interesting topic, particularly as we move toward the end of 2024. And there are a lot of things happening right now in the country where we can, see that a lot of people are like, I just need a break. It's almost like everybody's waiting to make that collective sigh of, there's so much happening. So how do we work to recognize where our employees are experiencing burnout? Maybe you have to try to define it first of all.
Funny enough, you said as we move towards the end of the year, and I was thinking to myself, well, some of us are limping. We're barely dragging our feet, just hoping for December. And I think something some of us might not consciously recognize is that part of the reason we like December isn't just Christmas, we know there will be several days off work. We know it's the one time of the year we can justify not working as hard because the reality is people are in their merriment. The boss is less likely to be over you requiring certain deliverables, and you just get to breathe, as you put it. So that burnout, the general definition for burnout is a state of mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion that tends to come on from either constant pressure or unrelenting stress. But it's not the same thing as stress. We have to make a distinction between stress and burnout, because you can be stressed and not experience burnout. Stress is a state of having too much to do, too much pressure, too much deadlines, too much demands. Burnout is not having enough, not enough energy, not enough drive, not enough motivation. You feel dry, empty, you feel like you have nothing left to give. That's what burnout is. That level of, I do not know how to keep going, which often sounds like depression, which is why burnout, a symptom of burnout, tends to be sadness or depression, because you feel so empty. And who's going to be bouncing off the walls when they feel empty and struggling?
Yeah, so how do you identify it though? Because sometimes you can have so many different personalities in one workspace, it can be difficult to recognize, this could be burnout.
How do you recognize it? Awareness is important, because the reality is sometimes in a managerial role or as employers, you are so focused on deliverables, year-end profits, and that kind of thing, that you're not actually paying attention to the employee as a human. So you're saying to them, why did you miss this deadline? Or why can't you work this weekend? Or why are you giving me attitude? But you're not paying attention to them as a human, you're paying attention to the deliverable. So step one is awareness. Pay attention to your employees, and when they begin to what I call act out. We often treat acting out as just an attitude problem. But if you have an employee who is normally a high achiever or an overachiever, who is normally self-driven, and all of a sudden they're demotivated, they're slower, they're probably watching the clock and leaving early, and probably giving you a bit of attitude when you're demanding more, that is often a sign that they've had enough. Because remember, burnout is not having enough, and so they're drained. That's a good sign. There tend to be physical symptoms as well: recurring headaches, changes in sleep patterns, digestive issues, and of course the emotional signs: sadness, irritability, mood swings, and the biggest, honestly, clue is demotivation. You don't want to go to work anymore. You don't want to be there. And one of the mistakes people make, and I remember one of my clients said to me once that he tells his employees, when you come through this door, leave your problems at home. And I said to him, while I understand what you're trying to achieve there, because the reality is we hire people to do work, not to come and, lay their problems in front of their colleagues, but we are whole persons. So whatever is happening in your life in general is going to affect work one way or the other. You can ask them to manage it, but not pretend, because burnout doesn't only come from work, Burnout can come from the responsibilities at home. So like we could use an easy one with those employees who do study. They're doing their studies at the university or wherever, plus they are working, so that when they leave, they go straight to classes. Classes finish 9, 10, they stay up till 12, 1 o'clock doing assignments, and then they're back at work for 7. And they keep this up for months on end, they're gonna burn out. So you cannot pretend that studying isn't gonna affect how they show up at work, their level of attention, concentration, productivity, creativity. If you're going through a divorce, you cannot expect the employee to show up in the same way as if everything is hunky-dory. If the child is sick, if a parent is sick, if there's grief, if there's loss, we are whole persons, and you carry over, and all of it will contribute to whether you experience burnout in the workplace and you show the signs. So pay attention to changes in behavior. Sometimes it's subtle and sometimes it's big. And if we move away from this principal, school child attitude we tend to have in the workplace, where the moment there's a underperformance or a change in attitude, you want to discipline and rather engage, we will sooner notice the signs of burnout.
Yeah, so what do we do to be able to kind of move past it, or, deal with it? Because you don't necessarily want to sidestep it. When I say move past it, to be able to more or less arrest it, tackle it to the ground.
I want to answer that in two ways: from the employer perspective and from the employee perspective. Let me start with the employee. As an employee, you need to make use of your vacation days. This whole carrying over of vacation, there is no price to you or your body. In fact, while we have the general definition of burnout, I have my personal definition for it because it's something very dear to my heart because I've suffered it several times. You'd think I'd learned by now, right? But I've gotten better. But I define burnout as when you become out of touch with your body and what it needs. So you're no longer paying attention to the fact that you're just drained. It's not that you're tired, why it is you don't want to go to work. It's that you are so overworked, you just don't even want to do this anymore. You're noticing the changes in sleep patterns, and rather than engaging in self-awareness and honesty with yourself, you're explaining it away. Oh, it was just one night, or it's just this week. Oh, you know, it's the dog that was barking. You're explaining it away, out of touch with your body and what it needs. It needs rest. It needs exercise. It needs fun. It needs comfort. It needs engagement, all of these things. So step one is make use of your vacation days. Under the Holidays with Pay Act, it actually requires that an employer allow you to take your vacation within 6 months of its anniversary date. So this whole practice of employers asking you to defer because it's a busy period, that can only fly up to a point. At the 6-month mark, you have the right to say, no, I want to take my vacation now. And take your accrued days. You really don't get paid for accrued days unless you're terminated or unless it's provided within your contract. If you didn't take it, you get paid. But technically, that is even a breach of the legislation. The next thing is the sick days. Take your sick days. There is no price for turning up sick. First of all, you're less focused, less productive. You might even be contagious and then making the entire workplace sick.
Yep.
Take your sick days. The body needs it. When you don't, you prolong your illness and the body just doesn't ever fully recover. There's no price. The next thing is I like to talk about the Employment Prevention of Discrimination Act. Under Section 7, it actually requires that an employer make reasonable adjustments for employees who fall within what are the protected characteristics. Some of which include if you have a medical condition, maternity, family responsibility, disability, the employer has a duty when requested of the employee to make reasonable accommodations, which include allocating certain duties to another employee, altering your hours of work, sending you to training if necessary. In other words, taking off some of that load that can lead to the burnout. So as employees, you have a duty to take care of yourself. You know, the employer is not going to do it for you, except if you're in one of those the smaller companies where they tend to be more intimate and caring. But reality is the employment relationship is a contractual one. It's not one of companionship and care. All right, I'm paying you to give the service and you are giving the service for payment. We're not here to look out for each other, except as is necessary for you to provide the services, right? Now, as the employer, empathy. I cannot stress this enough. We live in a world where we become so isolated. I don't know if you read the story about the employee who was dead at work for 3 days.
I did.
3 days and nobody noticed. And that in itself is indicative of this lack of empathy where we focus so much on ourselves only.
But for me, Michelle, that's a little contradictory when we talk about, this is a contractual arrangement. You're here to get the job done and then still ask employers to give empathy and consider employees who might be suffering burnout. So where do we find that middle ground where, they recognize this is what I need to do to be able to get this job done and still maybe be empathetic and all of the other things we're asking for without seeming as though, this is just contractual and I really care nothing about you. It really is about finding a middle ground, I think.
But you answered it. You said, this is what I need to do to get the job done. And when we begin to realize that we're humans and not computers, you realize what humans need to be motivated and to be productive. There are tons of studies that say a happy employee is a productive employee. When an employee feels seen, heard, engaged, an employee is more likely to show up for you and go over and beyond. Those are the words that the ones that get in the 30-year service awards. Those are the ones that get in the employee of the year because they feel engaged. They feel like they're an integral part of the institution because they feel that you care in some way. Now, I'm not telling you to turn up at their children's graduation and necessarily hold them when they're crying, but when you see them having a rough day, you might say take the afternoon off.
Yeah, I find in other places, some employers have been moving to institute working from home days. So particularly employees with young children. It's a different space when you're operating in some other larger countries and first world, what we deem first world countries, where, you know, there are a lot of services in the workplace, so you don't have to worry about rushing out in that kind of traffic to pick up the children. You don't have to worry about rushing out to go to daycare. So all of those are things that can really put pressure on your employees, particularly when you're kind of watching the clock. I think that's the thing for a lot of employers. They're like, you went out for 2 hours for lunch today. You know, when are we going to get this done? So I think it's about maybe moving to a type of thinking, particularly in businesses where you allow people to deliver on deadlines and not necessarily hold them to sitting behind a desk. That's where we see things like presenteeism and all that coming into play. Michelle, you always leave us in a position where we're thinking about what next we can do, and that's what these discussions are all about. So thanks for coming.
Always a pleasure.
All right. So you can find Michelle wherever internet is found. And she's not shy in sharing her opinions, and she is very open in sharing with your questions as well. So you definitely can reach out to her. All right, it's time for a break, but still to come on Morning Barbados, a big giveaway for Soo Goes Gold 6. So you get a chance to win. Just answer a simple question and you could be the lucky winner of a ticket, a night where you can represent for charity and have a good time as well. And also, we are reviewing International Men's Day yesterday. What happened? What should have happened? And what can we do better next time? That's coming up.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited, and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country?
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning on this Wednesday. So yesterday was International Men's Day, and we definitely don't see the level of fuss that we see for International Women's Day. So the conversation for me always kind of goes in the direction that it shouldn't. I have some great guys who are very open with their feelings, and they're really advocates for not only men, but men's health and wellness and generally for good society. So Sean Clark is with Supreme Counseling for Personal Development. It's always great to have you with us, Sean.
It's always great to be here.
Yes, and he's one of my go-to guys. Listen, these guys are my go-to guys. When I have challenges, I go to Sean Clark or Fabian Sargent, and you guys know that too.
Of course.
I call up with questions. I seek assistance where I need to, and that is what community is about. So before we move on, happy International Men's Day.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much.
Of course,
Thank
Fabian
you.
Sargent is, the guy at the helm now. He's doing it on a full-time basis of the the lone men's supremely dedicated organization in Barbados, men's.
Yes.
That's what it's called.
Yes, Men Empowerment Network Support.
Men's.
Men's.
How were things yesterday, Fabian? I know you were busy as a bee. You had about 4 workshops, but generally your overview of International Men's Day.
It was amazing. To see the growth, to see how the whole idea of International Men's Day is growing on people. People are sharing it in chats, organizations are stepping up. I worked yesterday, KF Shepherd staff, Barbados Workers Union, the Bureau of Gender Affairs, the National HIV, National Wellness and HIV Commission. Organizations are really stepping it up and really acknowledging International Men's Day and celebrating men. To me, that is one of the most important things. Because when you hear men, there's always be this negativity surrounding men. But the fact that we actually celebrate men, appreciate men, and encourage men to celebrate themselves yesterday was amazing.
Oh, that's beautiful. What about you, Sean? What did you think about the day generally?
Well, I spent my day yesterday at the Edison School, more so speaking with a number of males and, talking to them and helping to uplift them and to let them know that, once they do what they're supposed to do, they can have a bright future. So I basically enjoyed that. As you know, I enjoy working with young people and giving young people the tools that they need to navigate, their daily lives. Like Fabian said, I think that International Men's Day is now growing on persons and men are beginning to get the level of recognition that they need. Are we there? Are we close? No, we are not, but we're on the right path.
Are we there yet? I remember a few years ago, I was on radio. It was on 94.7, and Fabian called me. He said, Tisha, International Men's Day is coming up, and, we should do something on air. And I remember saying to Fabian, that's the thing? Like, I've never heard about it. I know you remember that, but we really made a thing of it. So I'm really happy to see that it has come to this place. So you had a number of workshops. Sean, you were able to share with young men. And that all ties into what the general theme was, which is about building and showcasing positive male role models.
Yes.
How are we doing with that?
We are coming along. As Sean said, we've made some way, but we are not there yet. I think there are a number of aspects of being a positive male role model that men really got to take into consideration. And a lot of that have to focus on self. A lot of us are still suffering from our childhood traumas, the issues that we would have faced through our lives, and it has impacted us as men. And I always tell men, being a role model is being a leader. If you want to be a leader, you got to lead yourself first. And that is exactly where we want men to get, to a position where they become amazing leaders of themselves. And it's at that point in time that they can become excellent fathers, excellent husbands, brothers, excellent workmates, excellent family members. So the whole idea of role modeling, is we're starting with the individual. And that's why we try to push a lot. And particularly yesterday when I did my workshop, I did a workshop on that, and really dissected it for those men to understand the importance of value systems and being able to celebrate yourself. If you can do that for yourself, then it's easy for you to encourage somebody else too. And oftentimes this whole idea of role model, what is a purposeful activity, is indirect. Because there are people in your surroundings, young people particularly, who observe your actions. So it's not about what you want to tell them intentionally. It's those unintentional behaviors that they follow and determines what type of role model you are.
Oh, that's interesting stuff. What say you, Sean? What are we looking for in those positive role models? Some people might be reluctant to step forward and even, take on that role because we're such incomplete beings. There's not one of us who is perfect. And oftentimes people are reluctant because they bother about people saying, well, who are you to come to invite people to model yourself, model themselves off of you when there's so much going on with you?
I think to pick up from where Fabian left off, we need to start as men by looking at our mental health and knowing that we are psychological beings, knowing that we are social beings, and knowing that we are emotional beings. And it's all about our thoughts, our actions, and our feelings. I think once we start that, we can develop that, and as men, we can show our persons that we are taking care of our mental health, that we are not afraid to go and get those mental checkups, you know, that we are not afraid to reach out to men's or the Supreme Counseling when we need help, when we feel stressed, when we need to talk to someone. We need to start there, I think, as men, to recognize that, you know, we are not a universe upon ourselves, but that we live in a society where we need each other. In terms of mentoring, I really need to call out on men to get involved, to step up to the plate. I just trained a number of mentors for the CHAMP mentoring program in St. Philip with Red Foundation, and there are two male mentors. 2 male mentors. We are looking for 60 mentors, and we have 2 male mentors. And I know that as men, we have a lot more to offer. And we know that there are a number of young boys out there that can benefit from having mature men, knowledgeable men in their lives that can share experiences with them, that can speak to them about things that they're not comfortable discussing with the female. So men really need to step up to the plate. We need those male mentors to get out there and to work with our young boys. If we say we want change, we have to stop saying that we want change, and we have to become a part of the change.
Yeah, I remember passing a sign a few years ago. It wasn't here in Barbados, but the sign was up on a fence. You know how people put these banners on fences, and it said looking for 5,000 mentors. And I remember thinking, oh my goodness, 5,000 mentors, we'd be hard pressed to find. And you're saying, you know, you're looking for some mentors in St. Philip, and you only find 2 men. Listen, men of St. Philip, this is your call to action. And I know that particular program is in collaboration with the Red Foundation.
Yes.
As well. Fabian, I saw you nodding in agreement.
Yeah, you know, we need to get the men out. I must say that my organization is a bit different. We have just under 30. And that took about 5 years to build and develop. Wow. So they didn't come in a one suite, you know. And a lot of that come because we work with men. I guess once we get men to understand who they are as individuals and trust the process, you know, it's a whole hand type of activity where you literally have to be next to a lot of these men. A lot of men are suffering tremendously. And once they feel comfortable that they're supported, once they feel comfortable that they know, you know, a lot of my issues that if I have to come and divulge them to you, they remain confidential, you know, that whole space of being vulnerable. A lot of men would like to be vulnerable, but the issues, who am I going to be vulnerable with? Who I can tell my business to in Barbados that I am not going to feel judged or I get here on the streets? And one thing I can tell you about our organization is that a lot of men come and they divulge their information during our support group sessions. I mean, we had one yesterday, hosted by the One Family program. And let me tell you something, the men share, when they come in, it was all men. All men. Apprehensive a bit, you know, but we don't know each other. And by the time you get halfway through the session, and the men start to share and share deeply, you know. And then I guess I was the lead facilitator, and being able to create that environment where they feel as if my information, I can trust the space.
Yeah, but what it does is it takes a weight off. So we want to hear more about that, but we have to take a quick break. We're going to come back and share more. If it's one thing that has stayed with me coming out of conversations with these gentlemen, is how we approach International Women's Day is all about upliftment and talking about the wonderful things people do. And I find for International Men's Day, people want to talk about all the negative things happening with men. So we have to look at how we can change that narrative and more in the next segment. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, it's 6:46. We're reflecting on International Men's Day. The observance was yesterday. Fabian Sargent is here, and Sean Clark is here with us as well. Grateful the guys could come out and share with us this morning after very, very busy days yesterday. As we went to break, you were sharing about a fantastic session you had yesterday, and sometimes it's so. We talked in the previous segment about burnout, but sometimes just being able to share can make all the difference.
It does, as I said, men want to share. They would love to share, but it is about the space, where and when and who can they share with. And I think once we get these men sharing and get that load off, the whole idea of men to share positive role models, that can become much easier, because then they feel more, I guess, they're more inclined to want to embrace or engage somebody else. A lot of men may say, look, I got so much issues going on with me, but you can't help nobody else. So you can't help oneself. So how could go out there and want to be a role model? But the thing about it is that a lot of people don't step out there to be role models, It just happens. You just see somebody, see Sean Clark on TV and doing these things, and all of a sudden, I would like to be like he.
Yeah.
And I tell people, well, you may get involved in spaces. It's very difficult to say, but I don't want to be nobody role model. But you are there. Artists, DJs, TV and radio personalities, they are the ones that a lot of young people look up to. And they say young people, but other people generally, see somebody all the time. Never met that person, but that person, Tisha, you must have got so much role models, so much females probably watch Mornin Barbados and see you and say, look, I like how she does dress. I like how she does talk. I like how she does interview people. I want to be like she. You can imagine, I see a young person back you down Broad Street getting on in a particular way or whatever the case is. The pressure, you don't settle because you're doing a job. But then in your own personal space, you are there. That pressure is also on you to maintain that whole image, especially for people that look up to you.
It's true, Sean. This sharing is your everyday and day to day. And I don't know if you have time off because, I like people who walk the talk. I'm big up to the Red Foundation for that title. I like people who, because for many years I've interviewed people, and then when you make that phone call, there's no one on the other side. And I can say for both of your organizations and for both of you, when you make that call, you're there to listen, to share, to lend assistance. So Fabian is talking about the sharing yesterday. For you, it's sharing every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's important for men to know that we have that space. There's some person that we can call that will always answer. And a part of sharing is being true to your word. So that if you say to a group of men or to a group of young men, I'm going to be there for 7 p.m. and we're going to have a discussion, make sure that you avail yourself at 7 p.m. to have that discussion. And you have to be true to who you are and what you do. And you cannot be a nice servant. I find that we have a lot of nice servants.
People
on the
know
island.
that word no more. We have to start talking about some of these words that going out with generation. My mother, that was my mother's favorite word. You're an eye servant. So explain, qualify that word.
Okay, when we speak of eye servant, we speak of persons that will do what they think you want them to do or what will please you in your presence. And then, as we say in Barbados, them behind your back. you know, you do something completely different. And I think that is exactly what Fabian just spoke of in terms of, okay, you're on television, you're showing this one image, and then as soon as you remove yourself, then the real you comes out. I think we must strive for the real you to be on display each and every time. And as men, we are always judged. You know, we are always looking at men, the way they dress, the way they speak, the way they interact with females, the way they interact with their mothers. A young lady once said to me, you know, I can get involved with you because I see how you treat your mother.
Well,
right?
That's what you give her a chance.
Well, yes, she got a chance. She could not get mommy's space. I mean, that is reserved. But she did get that chance. So as men, and we have to be able to walk the talk according to Red Plastic Bag and Red Foundation, so that young men and young people can see this is the real deal. One of the things I realized about young people is that they can see right through you. They know when you are genuine. Mm-hmm. They know when you're doing it because you care and out of concern. They know when you're doing it for that pay pack at the end of the week. And I think organizations like men's, and that is why Fabian will attract so many men to his organization. Organizations like Supreme Counseling, and we can attract and work with so many young people, is because they realize you have two men that are real, that they talk it as it is, they call it as it is, and they are not afraid to call a spade a spade.
Yeah, I think that's important. It's about leading from the front, and I mean, people can take that for whatever they want it to be, but I mean it wholeheartedly. Yeah. You know, we cannot move past this discussion without talking about, you know, a major troubling ill that's happening in our society right now. Yesterday we heard of a 58th murder in Barbados, and overwhelmingly so, it is young men under the age of 30 that are disproportionately affected by this extreme level of violence that we're experiencing at this time. 58 is already double what we experienced for the entire year in terms of murders in 2023. What can we do in going forward, Fabian, to try to stem the tide of violence we're seeing here in Barbados, particularly among our young men?
I think we need to first try to understand where it is coming from. And I am a firm believer that we have discarded the impact of COVID-19 on men and men's mental health. Families generally, you know, because everybody's impacted, but it seems as if it never happened. You know, we don't talk about it. We don't focus on the fact that people struggle tremendously. And as much as we talk about mental health a lot during COVID, a lot of people really did access mental health support and would have been carrying that trauma, those issues with them. I always tell people, when somebody commit a crime, come back 4 years. See what age they was at and where they were at in their life, what was happening at that point in time, you know. So I think once we understand where a lot of the issues come, then we can really start to unpack and peel off those layers to then deal with the solutions. That is one. I think that the whole family support. And the reality is that there's a difficult financial situation out there. A lot of men have got money in their pocket. How many of you got money in your pocket? You're miserable. You're frustrated. You're irritable. You ain't dealing with conflict well because we've never been taught how to manage our emotions and manage conflict. So the first thing is that you can fly off and use what you know best. Your two hands, maybe a weapon. So I guess once we understand the root of the issues, then we can really look towards the solutions. And the solutions are multifaceted. I mean, like all organizations and governmental departments, and you know, we need a full island-wide, all the private and government on board in some type of collective solution to deal with this issue. It's not about you or me alone, it's about everybody.
Yeah, I really feel there needs to be wider public discourse on it. I know you're dealing with this every single day. You're working within the schools with Supreme Counseling, Sean, to be able to try to arrest some of these challenges that Fabian is referring to, peeling back some of those layers of a proverbial onion almost that we see our young men in particular experiencing. So your thoughts on what we need to do to be able to move forward positively?
I am not sure that as a country we understand the power of teaching life skills. I'm not sure that we understand the power of teaching conflict resolution, of speaking about anger management, of speaking about self-awareness, because a lot of young men that are involved in these murders and so on, they are not necessarily aware of self. They are not aware of their own strengths. They are not aware of their weaknesses. They really don't know how to handle conflict unless it gets to the point of violence. And so we need, as a society, I think, to really embrace teaching life skills. And not only in the schools, don't only do it during health and family life or as a little side thing or under the tree at school, but open the community centers, open the schools on evenings, open the church halls, get persons to come in from within the communities and teach life skills. I think that will really, really help. I believe is really impactful, letting young people know how powerful they are, letting the young men know how to value themselves as a man, what you have to do to create a man of influence. And as long as we can do that and we can get that marriage, as Fabian said, because I believe that we really need to have that collaboration between government and NGOs. At the end of the day, we are the persons on the ground. We feel the pulse of the people. We know what are happening, what is happening within our society. So it's not a situation where government or government departments need to try to do it all. Collaborate with the NGOs. Let us do the work. I believe that as NGOs, we have what they call stickability. So when we put a program together, especially if we get funding for the program in 2024 and we want to maintain that funding in 2025, we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that the program works. And so that collaboration and teaching those life skills and allowing young people that space to be able to share freely, we really need to do those. I think that those things can impact positively on what is happening within our society.
I feel like we already have like a blueprint that we can share going forward. It's about teaching life skills. It's about having conversations with more people. I am afraid now to ask both of you to wrap up with one sentence, because you start. But you know, it's important that we kind of leave this conversation with a call to action. Yeah. So what would be your call to action, Fabian, even if it is a repeat of what you've said before, in terms of what we need to say to each other to make sure that in 2025, when we talk about a review of International Men's Day, it is saying, listen, we can see these positive changes.
I want to see some changes regarding how parents treat their sons, particularly, and how families treat boys. So validate your boys, pay attention to their behaviors, and let them know that they're valued and that they have worth. That is very important. If you're going to see a change, we have to start with the children.
Yeah, that touched me deeply. Sean?
I'm going to go along a similar line in terms of allowing your boys to express emotions. Allow the boys to cry. You know, don't say, what are you crying for? You shouldn't be crying. You're a boy. And that is why our males are so angry, because anger is that one emotion that is displayed in every household almost every single day. But the other emotions, as parents, we tend to shut them down. So my advice would be to allow our males to express those emotions, allow them to talk about those emotions and to feel comfortable in doing so. Let's stop the dry talk.
Stop the dry talk. I love it. Back it up with some action. How do we join men's? How do we become a part of men's?
Call us, 850-MENS, 850-6367, 850-MENS.
How do we reach out to Supreme Counseling for Personal Development?
538-9769, 836-5601. Call us at any time. You will get an answer.
My call to action is something that a friend of mine told me a long time. Forget the pride and keep the industry. It's time to recognize if you need help. And sometimes we look at help in different ways. You might have a challenging child in your guardianship, or your child might be experiencing some challenges, particularly young men, and you need some help, reach out. There's assistance that's available. Thank you, fellas.
It's
Thanks
a pleasure.
for having
Always
us.
good to see you guys.
Likewise.
Yeah, and I'll be calling night and day when I need that help.
And we will be answering night and day when you need
Thank you. All right, time for a break. We have an update of the news coming your way. Still to come, a big giveaway, compliments of the Eden Lodge Youth Charitable Trust and the Sandy Lane Children's Trust as well. So stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 7:03 on this Wednesday, November 20th. It's time for an update of the news. Making headlines at this time, government to acquire more garbage trucks before year end, and Bermuda is being encouraged to join CARICOM. New garbage trucks will be on the streets before the holiday season. Minister of Environment and National Beautification Adrian Ford made the announcement in Parliament as he contributed to a resolution on the Special Loans Act. He notes government is seeking to add the 28 compactor trucks, 2 skip trucks, and other equipment purchased since coming to office back in 2018.
Before the day that everybody wants to celebrate as the Christmas day, because they bring today good tidings of great joy to Barbadians. And to just say that before that day comes, this country will see, and as we open up with these new types of arrangements, we will see 17 more compacted trucks, 2 skip trucks, and 2 open trucks, which will be here in short order to be able to help with the garbage situation in this country.
Now, government has moved to clarify plans to buy back government paper as part of its debt for climate swap. Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, moved the resolution to start the process yesterday, which will involve government buying back $600 million in debt. In another section of the media, it was reported the holders of Series B and D bonds would be repaid in full as a result. However, Mr. Strawn notes that reports shared ahead of the planned reverse auction on Friday are inaccurate rather.
Right now, if you are holding a Series B bond, and you want to sell it, you can do it on the stock exchange, sir, trading in the secondary market. However, this gives an opportunity, whatever the price is on the stock market, this gives an opportunity if you're a holder of that bond, you wanted to dispense of that participation in the auction, allows you then to be able to bid a much higher price than what is currently being traded in the market. But of course, this is a one-time transaction in order to make sure that we can get this thing done.
Now, Prime Minister of Grenada, Decon Mitchell, is encouraging Bermuda to join the Caribbean Community, or CARICOM. The CARICOM chair says an increase in trading allows all countries to benefit from greater integration with their Caribbean neighbors. And prosecutors from across Brazil gathered in central Rio de Janeiro near the G20 summit, demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza and Lebanon. That's our update of news at this time. We have a full package coming your way here on TV8 at 12 noon. So join us for that. If you're on the move, you can tune into our radio network of stations, 98.1 The One FM, Q 100.7 FM, or 94.7 FM for the CBC News World at 1. It's time for a break here on Morning Barbados. When we come back, we're telling you all about the upcoming Armory tour and a whole lot more. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
On November 30th, get ready for a night of phenomenal performances. Get ready for Soo Goes Gold 6, brought to you by the Eden Lodge Youth Charitable Trust. Proceeds in aid of their 2024 Christmas feeding program. CBC is a proud sponsor of Soo Goes Gold 6.
Absolutely are. That's why we're proud to give you an opportunity right now to win a ticket. All you have to do is answer the question correctly. Call me up 228-5562 or 228-5563 to be able to answer today's question for a chance at that ticket for Soo Goes Gold. And your question is, name 2 of the female artists performing at Soo Goes Gold 6. Now, there's 6 women on the card, so you just need to give me 2. As long as you can name 2, you can be a lucky winner. That's all. Remember, Soo Goes Gold is all about the Eden Lodge Youth Charitable Trust in association with the Sandy Lane Charitable Trust, bringing you this Soca or Die edition. It comes off on November 30th at Bagatelle Great House. It's going to start at 9 o'clock in the evening. The super early bird tickets are sold out, but no worries. Regular early bird tickets are now available for $100 at official box offices and at ticketlinks.com. So don't wait till the last minute to grab your tickets. It's only $100, but at the door, it's going to be $125. So get your tickets in the early. Remember, the box office locations are CS Pharmacy on Broad Street, Lucky Horseshoe, Warren's, Worthing at City Center, as well as the Tavern at Bagatelle, Abbeville, iShop at Sheraton Mall, Forever Blessed, Tudor Street, Saul, Warren's, Rubis in Coverley, Oasis, Massey Worthing and Massey Sunset Crest, Empowered Sky Mall, AMB Music on Wildy, Sports and Games, Independence Square, Ticket Links online, and of course the office at the Eden Lodge Youth Charitable Trust. All right, let's go to the telephone line and see who's there. Tell me where you're calling me from and give me your first name. Good morning.
Good morning. Current location, Peter.
I didn't hear your name.
Tanya.
Tanya?
Yes, please.
Tanya from where in St. Peter?
At the moment, I'm in Maynard.
Maynard, St. Peter?
Yes, please.
All right. Good morning to everybody in Maynard, St. Peter. Just know that Tanya is representing for the entire neighborhood, and if she gets it wrong, it's on the entire neighborhood of Maynards. Right, Tanya?
I wouldn't get it wrong.
I'm kidding. All right. So the question is, well, really it's about telling me 2 female acts performing at Soo Goes Gold 6.
Alison Hines and Kimberly Innes.
Alison Hines and Kimberly Innes. Let me check this list and see. 1. You're right. Performing, Alison will be there. Destra, Kimberly Innes, Natalie Burke, TC. So, I mean, all of the top women in soca right now will be on the card for that. I hope you have a fantastic time. Stay on the line, Tanya.
Thank you.
Stay on the line because our line producer, Jackie, is going to take all your information to make sure you can get out and be a part of Soca Goes Gold on November 30th, where you get to come out and support a worthy cause as well as have a good time. How about that? All right, we're going to take a break here and come back with a whole lot more. Do stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so we are happy to hear that the very popular Armory Tour is back in 2024. And up first to tell us all about it, we have Captain Shane Drakes of the BDF. Wonderful to have you with us, Captain.
Good morning, Tisha. Wonderful to be back.
And also here is Lieutenant David S. Adamson. also of the BDF. Good to have you here.
Good morning, Miss Hines.
I wish people could hear the amount of trouble you gave me with this name before to make sure that I had it down pat. Did I do a good job?
Yes, please.
There we go. All right, so congrats on coming for another year to be able to bring this Armory tour. Captain Drake, tell us what it's all about and how things went last year.
The Armory tour is all about, this year we'll be having 4 aspects. Usually it's just 2, the rum tasting and the Armory tour. But this year, and I'm telling you, I'm excited about this year. This year we've brought on all the services, all the national services within the Barbados government services and security services. This event will be on Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 23rd of November at the historic St. Anne's Fort, where you'll be treated to displays, services, orientation. The Barbados Defence Force will be there in full force for sure. We have the Barbados Police Service and their display. They'll be bringing their K9s, they'll have their vehicles there. You'll be able to put on some uniform on that day, some kit, and we'll have the children and those persons attending getting a feel like what it is to be a fireman, what it is to be a postman. We have the postal service as well. On that day, we have immigration and customs coming out. Coupled with this, should you decide that you wanted to join one of these services on that day, you could come and sign up on that day. And don't fear Barbados. You can bring the children along. They can enjoy all the career displays that we have, also the dynamic displays that will happen throughout the day. And also there's a kids fun zone, free of charge. We have merry-go-rounds, obstacle course, all the games and entertainment that you could think about to keep your children active during that day. There'll also be complimentary snow cones and popcorn.
Complimentary snow cones and popcorn. You've already welcomed a whole set of people. So that's an overview of the entire event. Yes. I know for you, Lieutenant Adamson, you're going to be talking to us specifically about the Armory side of things. Maybe that's why you've shown up with this very large sword.
Yes, please.
So tell us.
Right. So the Barbados National Armory will be open on Saturday to the public. All are invited, bar none. Now, the important thing that we are going to do on Saturday, me being ably assisted by Mr. Peter Stephen of the Garrison Consortium, we are looking to ensure that we get as many persons as possible through the tour to learn about the significance of the defense mechanism that existed in Barbados within the early 18th and 19th century and its contribution to the economy, especially given that Barbados was a major producer of rum. Good. Now, the linkage of those two is going to be extremely impactful to ensure that those persons who are seeking that level of knowledge understands the underpinnings and why Barbados has been more or less a stable society from that time, the early 16th century, right up to present, especially as it relates to rum being part of our exports and such like.
All right, now this uniform is one that I've not seen before. It's a little different from what we're accustomed to. So tell us a little bit about this.
Right, the uniform that you're looking at, some persons refer to it as a period uniform, meaning it befits a particular period, but it is known as drill order. Good, and it is for the regimental historian has adopted this particular uniform so that it represents what persons will call paying homage to those persons who have served over the years. And it is interesting to note that it is more or less a combination of uniform worn by what we refer to as the enlisted ranks and that which was worn by the officers. So officers of that time normally wore jackets, they wore their gloves, they wore what is referred to as a Sam Brown, which is this outfit here, and they carried the sword. Actually, the officers also, they wore shoes, but if you're looking correctly, you can see that I'm wearing boots and puttees, which was something which was the domain of the enlisted ranks. So it's a combination, and it pays homage to both the officers and the enlisted ranks, which served years and years ago. And mind you, it was the uniform, and it continues to be worn by the Barbados Regiment Reserve.
It's definitely a very interesting look. I like it. Talk to me about how this event generally kind of aligns Captain Drake's with, you know, the mission of the BDF in terms of being able to share more within the community, not only about the history of the Barbados Defence Force, but more certainly about the interconnectivity with the island generally and what you do. So
this event is a partnership that we've done over the past 2 years with the NCF as our main partner. Previously, it has been very successful, but we've only focused on the aspect of the rum tasting and the armory tour, which is sought out by persons and locally and also tourists. This year we decided to make it bigger as we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of independence for Barbados. So we decided to do a career showcase and open day simultaneously. So persons will be able to have the tours, which will be led by Lieutenant Adamson. We'll also have the career there and the kids zone at the same time. And I didn't mention at first, but there's more. There's also a health fair on the same day. So the Barbados Defence Force Field Medical Team will be providing a rollout of their hospital where persons can see how, should there be a natural disaster or something happening in Barbados that requires the field medical team to deploy, we can see how they can ably assist the QEH and Barbados in the whole. There'll also be Sagicor Life Inc., the Diabetes Association, the Heart and Stroke Foundation, and those persons will be given free health checks on that day in the cool and serene comfort of the field medical hospital.
All right, there definitely is a lot happening. I know for the Armory Tour, Lieutenant Adamson, you're also bringing out the big guns, so to speak. Let's talk a bit about the cannons.
Yes, the big guns, as you mentioned, will be on show. And those big guns are around St. Anne's Fort, actually. But there are some special ones which are within the Barbados National Armory. And one of those guns happened to be the Commonwealth cannon. Some persons also refer to it as the Cromwell cannon, and there's some interesting history behind that, which I will be willing to provide when the patrons get there on Saturday. In addition to that, there are several other guns within that particular facility which will be showcased, and you will be given the information. And it is only when you get this information that you would understand what happened during the 17th and 18th century as it relates even to a stable economy and the advancement of democracy.
Oh, that definitely is some interesting stuff. Talk to us, Captain Drakes, about how long the tour sessions will be, how many people can participate, and how they will run and stuff like that.
For the Armory tours, we will accommodate 30 persons for each tour. There is a portal with the NCF where persons can book online. The tours are absolutely free of charge. The entire event is absolutely free of charge. And this is a way of the Barbados Defence Force giving back to the public of Barbados who have supported us throughout this entire year. We know we would have had trade winds and the public would have come out and supported us ably during trade winds. We had Cricket World Cup crop over, which was event free. So this is our way to give back to Barbados during our 50th year of independence and also the BDF's 45th year of establishment.
All right, so you have to register for the tours.
Yes.
So you have to get on that NCF portal. Can you navigate from the NCF's website? How
yes,
does it
you
work?
can.
Yeah? So go to the NCF website, but you have to make sure you register 30 people per grouping. How many tours throughout the day?
They'll be starting at 1300. We'll have a tour every half an hour. The tours will be split between Lieutenant Adamson and Mr. Stevenson. So you can either start with Lieutenant Adamson in the Armory, or you can start with Mr. Stevenson on the lawns of the officers' mess.
All right, that's beautiful stuff. And it's at St. Anne's Fort. What do you hope people gain when they do these tours of the Armory? We certainly have learned a lot sitting here just listening to you gentlemen already. But what are your hopes for people who will be coming out and touring with you?
Right. So the hopes of those persons who embark on the tour is for some persons to connect the dots, as it were. There are also some students who are currently pursuing Caribbean and West Indian history, even world history this year. And it is going to be very enlightening for those folks, as well as some persons generally who would just be coming out to get the history of the Barbados Defense Force and the Barbados Regiment, and let's say the Garrison Historic Area as such. So that is the intent of the tours, and no doubt we are going to look forward to accommodating each and every one, even if we have to push a little bit past the time to ensure that the knowledge is passed on.
All right, not to mention they're free snow cones, they're free popcorn. People are coming already. Again, I just want you to repeat, you said for people who are interested in joining the services on the day, this is an opportunity to find out more as well.
Yes, they can see what each service provides, what they do on a day-to-day basis, what are the requirements to join, and they can also sign up, start their process on the spot.
All right, I love that. So Captain Drakes and Lieutenant David S. Adamson sharing with us. This is not the end, though. Coming up, Chief Petty Officer Adon Rogers and Lieutenant Coast Guard Elvis King. They're going to be in to share more about the upcoming Armory Tour and more. So stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so we're still talking about the upcoming Armory Tour, but they've added so much more to the lineup for the entire day. So now joining me on set, I have Chief Petty Officer Adon Rogers of the BDF. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
And also Lieutenant Coast Guard Elvis King.
Good morning.
Good to have both of you here with us as well. I'll start with you. Chief Petty Officer Rogers. Is going to be food, rum, and the historic cannons, but you're charged with taking care of the menu. Let's talk about that.
Yes, please. What we're going to do is we're going to offer a lot of local cuisine for our guests when they come to patronize the activities on Saturday. We're going to have some, some of the items that your grandmother would cook and your mother would give you like on the weekends. For sure, we're going to have sauce. For sure. Then we're going to do a cuckoo, but we're going to have some red herring, Also, inside the menu, when we come down to the menu, we're going to do a fish broth. That's something that we like to do at Coast Guard. Once we had a long day at sea, we would get the parts of the fish, put it together, and do a nice fish broth. We're also going to have one of our chefs, Caleb Clark. He is a specialist inside of the kitchen. He's going to do a nice white rice, and He's going to do a chicken. He's going to have a curry, and he's going to do a special. When he gets himself together, he's going to do a nice chicken. I think he's going to mix it with some of his specialities and skills, where he's going to have a surprise for us when we come. Also, we're going to have some of the lighter side, the sweeter side of Barbados. When we get down inside, we're going to have some nut cakes and sugar cakes presented for our guests once they come and start to patronize the tours and the BDF as.
I love that, and it's absolutely free, viewers. I love that you're doing so much, and you really want to make it a family event because there's also a zone specifically for the children.
Yes, so zone specifically for the children. I know as my previous colleague, he was spoken about the free popcorn, but we also have cotton candy for the children. Nice. So just to keep the children entertained. We also have merry-go-round. We're going to have a series of amusement park rides type, so that persons could actually patronize and enjoy the event. In that area as well, for the children that love to get all painted up and dolled up and see themselves as Spider-Man and Superman and even Black Panther, we have the face painting evolution as well during that period of time.
I hope that they'll be able to dress up as officers too. How about
yes,
that?
They're going to be able to dress up as officers as well. Basically try to put on the different hats that we wear and actually see themselves as future servicemen.
That's beautiful. CPO Rogers, we talked a lot about the foods.
Yes, please.
But what about the drinks on the menu?
Oh, well, we are looking to pair with some of the refineries in Barbados. We have the Foursquare, the Mount Gay, and the Stades distilleries. We're going to look to pair with some of their mixologists. We also have Calavon, who is a mixologist himself inside of the BDF, who's going to come and share some of his skills with us. So we're going to do the sampling of the rums within the special refineries and how they do their process of getting the aged rums out to Barbados and the wider world. And we are going to look at how, like I said, Clark is going to look at getting some of the liqueurs and rums from the rum houses and pairing that inside of his special presentation that he'll be giving us on that day.
And I mean, our independence is so uniquely placed, as is this event, because it's the time of year where we're kind of going into Christmas as we celebrate our independence. So, I mean, sorrel is in order. Of course, Mobby and all of the other traditional Bajan drinks you can look forward to.
Yes,
so,
please.
even though you're going to have the rum tasting, I'm sure you're also going to have something softer for those of us who can't handle the liquor.
Yes, please. Yes, please. We're going to do that as well. And I need to mention that we have a fish cake specialist within the BDF, Junior Prescott, who is going to offer...
Not a fish cake specialist.
Who's going to offer Barbados some of the best fish cakes you've ever had while you've been.
I'll tell you, that's a new title, fish cake specialist.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
But also to add to that whole evolution of evening, later in the night, for those of you that love to carry your own key and enjoy yourselves among good company, we are offering you a chance to hang with us as servicemen and see a lighter side of us, not an aggressive side of us, a lighter side of us, and carry your own key alongside of us so that you can enjoy a wonderful evening with us as well.
You're going to be singing karaoke?
Yes, we're going to be singing karaoke. Come on, the name
Don't say
Elvis.
we asked you specifically, Lieutenant King. Are you going to be singing karaoke?
Elvis is my first name, so that should tell you something.
All right, well, I look forward to some Blue Christmas.
Yes, and blue suede shoes.
Blue suede shoes. All right, so I know that you're also going to have some fitness sessions that will be taking place.
Yes, so after we have the career day to wind down and get everybody's blood pumping, after you have that health test and that pressure test, we want to get you going. So we're going to have a nice warm down session with one of our warrant officers, PDI. He's going to carry through a nice warm-up session to do some fitness so that we can see you all well and get your vocals prepped for our karaoke later on in the evening.
That's beautiful, and I'd love to see you guys coming out of the box that sometimes we have you in as
that
members of the public.
Box.
And I know for the events that you have, you know that you can't open the doors wide enough for people to be able to come in. There are also a lot of young people who are very intrigued, you know, by the force and what you do. So, you know, share your journey with us, how you got interested in joining and where you are today.
Okay, I a cyclist. I also play rugby. So I joined the Defence Force Sports Program in 1992. And the journey was, I think we had 5 cyclists. There were 2 Johns, John Gemman, John Cumberbatch, Richard Devonish. There was Foster, and our coach was Hector Edwards. So for that first 3 or 4 years, we would have focused on cycling, building for championships, national championships within the CSC games and things of that nature. So one of the things that was highlighted to us is that we can then transition over to the full-time element of the Defence Force. I think I took a break. I went out on a cruise ship. I spent some time in hotels, and I was convinced that returning to the Defence Force and offering the skills and knowledge I would gain inside of the industry to help the soldiers who have committed themselves to some tasks that remain nameless, to have a good meal, you know, after hard days of duty, you know, or morning breakfast, you know, something like things of that nature. So I was able to study at the Barbados Community College, where we've done the associate's degree. I would have been to England to do a training course in Chief Petty Officer training, where we would have managed kitchens on a different basis. We would have learned to cook in the bush, in the field. You know how you roast breadfruit? I was surprised to see them cooking like that in England. I was like, you do this? I was like, yeah. And so I gained a lot of that knowledge. So now sharing that with some of the younger members within the catering unit is Chef Mason. We have, like I said, Prescott and Clark. There's also Seals. Recently promoted Sergeant Lowe, who is now the female that would be running the kitchen. And we would be running on the shoulders of people like Chief Holder and others who would have, through the years, committed their life and their time to ensure that the soldiers have something to go by as they commit themselves to the duties. So now that we have, like you said, opened the doors to let Barbados see that it is, along with the marching and the guns and the things that we do in the dark, that Barbados Defence Force has a lot more to offer. So the culinary arena is one where we are going to enjoy showcasing what it is that we do. Sometimes we pair with chefs on the outside as well. I think when we did a show a couple of years ago, we had Chef Gregory Austin with us. We worked with Chef Butcher from the Food and Rum, who some of our chefs are given the opportunity to work alongside the nation's best. And it helps us to hone our skills, to understand the fundamentals in catering and how we balance our nutrition and deliver goodness to the soldiers, so that when they come out, you see them on parade, or you don't see them, depending on what the tasking is, that they feel like, you know, like this is something that if my mom was here, she would have prepared this for me. So that is basically some of what my journey has been inside the Defence Force. There've been some hills, there've been some valleys, and we're still sailing on and ensuring that we can hand over to the younger generation a commitment to duty and understanding the relevance of the Defence Force within Barbados, within the region, and internationally, that they could build on it, stay on our shoulders and continue to build and grow, because we have to hand over to the youth. We want to give them something that they understand. Once they understand the values in it, then they could move forward with
and
it.
something they're proud to roll with. And, you know, just seeing the pride in your face in talking about it says everything. This is what Saturday is about.
Yes,
it's about being able to come out and kind of get behind the gates, literally and figuratively, to be able to engage with you guys and find out a lot more about it. A big shout out to Brigadier Lovell. I know he talks a lot about wanting to bring back the sports program. And I've met so many of you who've come in through the sports program. I think it's imperative that we move with haste to be able to bring that program back based on all that's happening with our society and wanting to move forward with a program and welcome young people in a substantial way. I think that's a great way to engage them. What about you, Lieutenant? Your journey with the organization.
My journey has been awesome for me. I view the opportunity as one of the best things that ever happened in my life. It brought everything into line for me in terms of education wise. I will encourage any youngster that is looking to excel in life to take that step, to join the services. It's not a hard step. The beginning step is going to be a bit troublesome mentally and physically, but once you have a particular focus and you gain a particular focus, you will find yourself being in places that you would have never imagined to be. My first time being a soldier, I would not have imagined traveling to so many different countries and viewing so many different countries on a different limelight from where I would have viewed it if I was just a civilian. One thing that actually encouraged me the first time was my first evolution of seeing an area being struck by a hurricane. And I want Barbadians to stop saying that, knock on wood, we are good. We are out of the chain belt to actually get damaged by a hurricane. I want them to focus a lot on the possibilities of how these things can happen. So it has opened up my focus to see that how things could change your life drastically. So for me, I have always been eager to excel in terms of moving up through the lanes and moving up through my career. It has given me the possibility. I mean, everybody thinks that when you join the forces, all you would do is run around, poo-poo, fight, drill up and down. But it has given me the opportunity to sit in rooms with individuals and rub shoulders with doctors, lawyers, other such individuals. It has also given me the opportunity of going to the university as well. So for those who are hard up financially, there actually is a great possibility within the Barbados Defence Force for you to actually go back to UE if it is that financially you can't make it. So I would encourage any youngster to not only look at what you see on the social media, these get-rich schemes, these artists who promote violence and gang violence. There are other heroes that you could look at. And I want them to see that our servicemen, they are also one of the greatest heroes and mentors that you could look at.
Oh man, absolutely. And this is just a taste of what we want you to experience when you come out to the presentation on Saturday. It's coming up this Saturday at the historic St. Anne's Fort. You definitely want to come out and be a part of it. So it's food, it's rum, it's the historic cannons, it's all action. So you join them from 1 o'clock to 9 p.m. for the event this year, where you can immerse yourself in history, culture, and national pride all in one at the National Armory Tour, rum tasting, essential services displayed, hosted by the BDF. You don't want to miss it, and it's absolutely free. It really is almost like a give back event. You have to register for the National Armory Tours, which will be via the NCF's website. So make sure you register today because spaces are limited. There will also be an extraordinary kids zone, as we heard, with fully immersive displays from the Barbados Police Service, the Barbados Fire Service, the Barbados Prison Service, the Department of Emergency Management, and many other organizations. Also, there will be high energy aerobic sessions to enhance the festivities of the day. And the wonderful thing about this is we only get to see a lot of these services together for the Independence Day Parade. So that's a precursor to all of this. Thank you so much to both of you, Chief Petty Officer Rogers, who's taking care of the menu, and Lieutenant Elvis King, who is here to tell us about the Kids Zone. Thanks for all of the work you do. And indeed, thanks on behalf of all of Barbados for the service.
And just want them to remember, cutoff time is going to be at 9 p.m., so get there early.
9 o'clock. You don't have to go home, but you got to go. Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
All right, and a big shout out and a special good morning to everybody at the BDF planning and getting ready for this big event on Saturday, especially to my good friend left out at Gala. Morning, ma'am. All right, time for a break. When we come back, we're going to tell you about some amazing events that are coming up, and we're going to do a big review of the NIFCA gala that happened on Sunday. If you missed it, you're going to get all caught up. That's next.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so the grand finale of NIFCA 2024 came off on Sunday night in fine style. It took place at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium with the NIFCA Performing Arts Gala. And it showcased the best in dance, music, theater, literary arts, and a whole lot more. Check it out.
Owning the scratching, scorching, searching sand of a St. John's Beach walk.
that monsters ain't real, but if you've seen what I've seen, you will know that's not true at all. Because I've seen carnivores camouflage in the comfort of a compliment, conceal their claws behind the costume of a good man, lure lovers into lost lands where consent always comes up missing. And let me tell you, them in a search party that could be sent to track the scent of innocence. We love to dim ignorance to the monsters of this world. Meanwhile, predators be making a delicacy out of our adolescents and teenage girls.
I'll tell you, when people so wicked here, what do you mean you're home? Every time I come here, you're in home. 1 week you're here, 1 week you're there. I want my money. The guys got up hand. Rodney, wait till for you to do by three. His then start laughing. The man will make one swing and splash into the sea. And Rodney splashing behind him, chasing you all the way to the clear hole. But instead of getting tired, the old man getting faster. So Rodney going back to shore to wait for you to come out.
Goes home, throws his school bag on the bed, and had back outside with the mental. Whenever mommy says she's son outside too long, mommy tries to be strong. She tries to raise a man while being a woman who fell in love with a man that she was here for her son to become, and then she let her son stay outside because outside is his fun. He quickly became infatuated and enamored with the streets that caused his father to be in chains. I mean, the drugs, the guys, the games, the fun.
Oh yeah, that was a good time at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium. That was for the NIFCA Gala 2024. And just like that, the curtain comes down on the festival. But the excellence continues. Kudos to our friends at the National Cultural Foundation. Now, the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Barbados National Culinary Team, representing at A Taste of the Caribbean, they went off, they've gone off, and the competition is now in full swing. We've been following them on social, and we're going to share some updates and a whole lot more after this. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited, and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so yesterday marked day one of the Taste of the Caribbean competition. The BHTA National Culinary Team, they were there. They are there, and they're there to shine for Barbados. Of course, representing yesterday are pastry chef Rakina Curtin, senior chef Ronaldo Joseph, mixologist Alex Chandler, as well as the members of the management team. And of course, they're there to showcase their incredible talent. So make sure that you cheer them on as they bring the flavors of Barbados to the international stage. They definitely are putting the work in. And we're hoping Team Barbados comes back home with the gold. We look forward to that. So congratulations to the entire team. We look forward to that gold from them when they get back after the competition. Now, the National Thanksgiving Service, Our Faiths Bring Us Together, United in Peace and Love, is coming off. We invite all Barbadians to come out and celebrate 58 years of nationhood with peace, love, and unity. Join us for the National Thanksgiving Service, 10 a.m. Sunday, November 24th. It's going to be at the Garfield Sobers Sports Complex, and everyone is welcome. Remember, November 24th, the Garfield Sobers Sports Complex, and they want us to be seated by 9:15, so make sure you get out early. Barbados is calling all sons and daughters from all across the globe, everybody living abroad. The call is come long home. That's right, the island's highly anticipated We Gathering 2025 event is an open invitation for Barbadians around the world to reconnect with their roots and enjoy the vibrant traditions that make Barbados such an amazing and very special place. So whether you've been away for years or just a short while, this homecoming celebration promises the perfect opportunity to really indulge in the flavors, rhythms, hospitality, everything that embodies the Barbadian way of life. So pack your bags, book your tickets, get ready, and come along home. We gather in 2025. Every month it's about celebrating a different parish and something different about our beautiful country. Yesterday we told you all about the Barbados Poppy League Appeal, and it's important that we contribute to this as well. So the Barbados Poppy League Appeal, they have a bank account, and we're going to share that information with you. So it's your chance to give back. Your donation can make a real difference, helping the league provide essential medical support, housing repairs, even monthly stipends for veterans in need. Plus, since the Poppy League is a registered charity, donations accompanied by your TAMIS number means that you can include it in your annual tax filing as well. So donate today and help our veterans. Very, very, very important. That's it from our show for today. We've had a fantastic day, and we certainly hope that you will head out to that Armory tour on Saturday. Also on Saturday is the Genealogy Marketplace that's happening at the Barbados Archives. So you have lots of choices for this weekend. Coming up on tomorrow's show, the Roman Catholic Diocese of Bridgetown Run Walk to Help. is to raise funds to help the needy and most vulnerable among us. So they'll be here to tell us about it and how they will donate to the Child Care Board as well. Plus, we're telling you about the Jean and Norma Holder Hospitality Institute's cake exhibition for Independence Month. And the winners of the Spirit of the Nation Gala are going to be here. Then National Emblems, Symbols and Celebration with Professor Dwayne Devonish and Dr. Charleston Brathwaite. We're going to have that on the show. Dr. Gillian Birchwood is going to be here, along with Mary Thompson, who is a forensic nurse examiner. We're looking at safe sleeping practices for babies here in Barbados. And that's just a taste of what you can expect tomorrow. There will also be another giveaway for the Soo Goes Gold 6 promotion. So make sure that you tune in. Thanks for viewing today. Sending loads of love from the entire team. Do have a great day and see you, God willing, tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados. Good